Hi everyone, welcome to my Smart Learning YouTube channel. I hope you can make good use of my Smart Learning YouTube channel to learn new knowledge and become a smarter and happier person. For my Smart Learning YouTube channel, I have spent lots of time and effort in produce this kind of YouTube video. So if you want to support my production of this kind of YouTube video, I welcome you to offer your donation, and you can donate some money to my PayPal or Venmo. My PayPal is paypal.me/gracef327, or you can also Venmo me. My Venmo username is @grace_Rainier. Thank you very much for your support. Now let's go on to talk about the topic of globalization development in this contemporary world. There are different aspects of globalization development. Economic activities play an important role in globalization. As well, political and cultural activities and more other activities are also carried out on a global basis. Anthony Giddens, the British sociologist, has once commented that global activities have brought about fundamental changes even in social relations. What has happened in a distant place will affect the local affairs, and vice versa. In this video, I will focus on talking about the aspect of economic globalization. Economic globalization. The globalization of economic activities is the most widely discussed domain. Before the development of globalization, economic activities are carried out by the state as a unit. Companies have generally raised investment funds locally, employ local labor for production, and focus on the local market for sales. But in the process of globalization, state boundary has been broken down by transnational corporations to carry out economic activities globally, and there is a trend of so-called global market integration. The integration of labor market, commodity market, and capital market on a global basis. In short, economic activities made the world a global marketplace. First, let's look at the commodity market integration by trade. The most important activity connecting the global commodity market is trade. In the past 50 years, the value of international trade has risen sharply by more than 16 times. Today, almost all the countries in the world are involved in international trade, and trade relations are getting closer and closer. When the World Trade Organization (WTO) was established in 1997, it had 132 member states, and now it has 164 member countries. The globalization of commodity markets means that companies can now promote and sell products and services on a global level. Today, all successful companies around the world operate their business globally, and consumers around the world can equally enjoy the products and services of different companies around the world. Second is the labor market integration by multinational enterprise. Goods can flow freely, but the movement of labor is more restrictive. Multinational corporations have helped to promote the globalization of the labor market. through direct investment, process outsourcing, strategic alliance, and other activities. Multinational corporations disperse different economic activities around the world. At the end of the 20th century, there were nearly 44,500 multinational corporations with a combined annual turnover of $7 trillion. Now companies can basically allocate different economic operations in response to costs and human resources in different countries. Under this global division of labor is the process of dividing the job function from production to point of scale between different countries in order to produce goods at the lowest cost and maximize profit. It aims to change production from developed countries to underdeveloped countries where the labor cost is cheaper. This is also called the Global Cooperation Network, which means that multinational companies connect production bases around the world, each focusing on different projects, and some countries only specialize in the production of certain parts and components. Trade is also the result of this development. There are lots of the world's famous brands like Levi's jeans, Nike athletic shoes, and Apple iPhone are now manufactured in different countries around the world. For example, the Levi's jeans are originated in the US since 1853, but now all the Levi's jeans are manufactured in countries like China, Japan, Romania, Bangladesh, Bulgaria, Turkey, Vietnam, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, India, Italy, Cambodia, Poland, and Egypt. Levi has moved their production factories to countries where the domestic labor costs are low and raw materials are cheaper. Last but not the least is the capital market integration by international investors. The flow of capital is faster than that of commodity trade. Since the 1970s, the continuous innovation of financial instruments and the relaxation of capital controls have greatly accelerated the process of financial globalization. Foreign investors and financial institutions have been allowed relatively free to enter domestic markets in different parts of the world. From 1978 to 1991, the numbers of foreign banks in the United States rose from 122 to 280. In 1991, foreign banks account for 18% of the total banking assets in the U.S. and operate 565 offices. Now traders can trade 24 hours around the world with the help of online banking. Bank deposits and lending activities are carried out across borders. International investors can assess the risks and rewards of different places to make investment decisions and mobilize funds to different places at any time. A wide variety of financial products such as stocks, bonds, futures, and options are traded on the basis of the global market. At the end of the 20th century, the annual foreign exchange transaction volume reached $450 trillion, and the annual cross-border fund investment volume was $60 trillion. As we look at the economic globalization development, we have to ask, is economic globalization leading the world into a better development of the world, or is it making the world getting worse? Whenever the International Monetary Fund or the World Trade Organization holds a meeting, there are always protesters of different nationalities outside the venue who clash with the police. Some people say that globalization reduces trade barriers and creates a fair trading environment. However, anti-globalizers accuse international organizations such as the China Foundation and the WTO of fueling the economic invasion of the weak by the powerful, creating more injustice and exploitation on the developing world. The debate on global economic globalization goes beyond protectionism and free trade. More importantly, it involves how we view the development of the third world and the distribution of international political power. Over the past 20 years, international trade and investment have grown rapidly, and economic activities have gradually transcended national borders, forming a globally integrated economic system. Among them, foreign direct investment and outsourcing processes of multinational enterprise disperse different processes of the entire production process to different parts of the world, forming a so-called a new international division of labor system. From a positive perspective, this kind of globalization of production will let all countries in the world have the opportunity to develop their own advantageous industries. And through exchanges in the world market, they can obtain economic benefit, drive national development, and ultimately benefit all the people. With the development of the international division of labor system, multinational enterprise no longer focus on domestic production, but manage the entire production system distributed in different countries, make full use of the advantages of different places, greatly improve the operational flexibility of the enterprise itself, and reduce production costs. For developing countries, participating in such an international division of labor system is also conducive to integrating with the international market and accelerating local industrialization. However, discussion about the so-called race to the bottom of multinational companies looking for low-cost production bases and the resulting damage to labor rights are also worth pondering. There are two major problems arising from globalized production. One is that a large number of low-skilled laborers in industrial countries have become increasingly marginalized, and the other is the protection of basic labor rights and the interests of workers in developing countries. Basically, the international community is now aware of the disadvantaged situation of workers, but there is no consensus on the solution. The issue is no longer confined to the framework of the market, government, and business. The response and action of international civil society has also formed an important force and caused a wide range of policy repercussions. In general, we need to have a deeper reflection on economic globalization. What is the significance of economic globalization in recent years? Can the current trade system promote the development of the global economy? Can it help developing countries and poor people out of poverty?